Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wolf Quest 3 with our Generation 4 heir to the Dawn Moon Pack, Lark, who is currently watching over all of his pups. And look, Cinder's actually spending time with the pups! Oh my gosh, that is so rare for her. I am so happy to see that. I think Lark is not so happy to see that there are so many of the pups actually like wandering around. But let's see, anybody behind us? Okay, good. Swallow, as usual, is wandering off and just having a good time, meandering wherever she wishes to. Then we have Bristle, Dove, Raven, Atlas the Third. No, a bear? Are you kidding me? No, 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 Cinder! Oh, this is so bad! We have to move dens again! We're almost done with the summer hunting ground and we have to move dens again because of Cinder's lifetime quest? What? Mink! Mink, no! Mink, come on! No, Mink, 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 Mink! No, Mink! Mink! Mink is lost! Mink is lost! Mink is lost! There she is! Pop, 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 pop! No! Get away from our baby! Get away! Come on! Pick up Mink! Pick up Mink! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! This is the most— Swallow, no! Puppies! Puppies! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Oh my gosh. Well, guys, this is me sitting in shock. I thought really hard about what to do from here. I went ahead and drafted up the odds that the pups will survive random generator, just like I said I would last time Lark ran into a lot of trouble. And we went ahead and I rolled the generator to see if any of the Dawn Moon Pack wolf pups would survive. And the results were interesting. The results were very interesting. And I sat here and I thought so hard about, did that really happen? Did that really happen? But I don't think there has ever been a more chaotic moment in trying to protect our wolf pups in the history of the Moon Pack, in any of the hundreds of Wolf Quest episodes we've done since the very first litter with Luna and Soul. I don't think there has been a more dramatic moment where the pups were just all over the place. We were desperately trying to save Mink's life, we were trying to save Swallow's life, and we were trying to save Cinder, and Lark threw everything he had into that. And all I could think when that was happening was how sad I was for Cinder that this was happening again. At first it was like, oh no, we'll have to chase away this very strong boar grizzly bear and we will have to do our best to like move to a new summer hunting ground, even though this place was perfect and we were almost done, because Cinder's lifetime quest was that we would have to move every time like a grizzly showed up at our den or our summer hunting ground. I didn't know that what Cinder's true nightmare would be is that she would lose her mate again. Not to hunters this time, but to a grizzly bear. And we did lose several of the pups as well. And I sat there and I thought about it, and the honest truth, guys, is as sad as it is, it adds so much depth and richness to their story. We are 4 generations now, passing on the torch to 5 generations into our Wolf Quest legacy of 10 generations. That is our goal. And I have to step back and admit, like, if things were always easy, if we always survived, if our wolf pups always survived, it wouldn't be the same. It would be really boring after a while. And not only that, but it would be disenfranchising to the truth of what it is like to be a wild wolf. Very few wolves live a very long time. The average lifespan for a wolf outside of Yellowstone National Park is actually 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years. You just get an extra year of life if you live in Yellowstone with all of that protection. So, like, 1 to 2 years old is like the average that a wolf gets. Having a pack of your own and successfully living to see that pack thrive is not very common. And it's about time that that kind of heaviness and difficulty showed itself in our Wolf Quest adventures. And so here we are. Here we are. And I wonder if any of the surviving pups are going to take this life lesson from Cinder and from Lark as a life lesson that sometimes to save the whole, as many as you can of the litter, you might have to sacrifice 1 or 2. If we hadn't rushed for mink, we would have had more pups survive, because out of the 6 surviving pups we had, guys, it's time to go ahead and show you who in Lark's family tree did manage to make it. So everybody is listed as alive here, except for Soot, who passed away very, very early on due to just the nature of having to finish that current save file so that we could go ahead and have a few pups to pick from for Generation 5. If no pups survived, then we would have lost the Dawn Moon pack and we would have had to start something new. That's still out there. That's still out there as an option. But Lark and Cinder being older, that meant that she actually had a penalty for not being able to take care of as many of the pups, did at least manage to have a few survive, mostly because we were almost finished the summer hunting ground. The odds would have been much worse if we had still been in the den. And if the pups, so many of the pups hadn't already been so close to being ready to become full juveniles. So guys, Lark died defending his family from a boar grizzly bear. And Cinder, in the last days that they had together, did rise to the challenge of trying to protect her pack. And I'm really proud of her because she defended Lark's life. She showed up and chased off grizzly bears so that we could go ahead and feed and recover. And then she went forward, and after Lark died, trying to defend the pack from that grizzly bear, Cinder actually did manage to raise 3 of the pups to adulthood. So, according to the random generators that we used, we do have 3 out of the 6 remaining pups after Soot to pick from. Dove actually did survive. This is the first time we're actually getting a chance to see her stats. She's -2 stamina, 1 strength, -1 speed, and 2 health. So she did, Dove of the Eyebrows, did manage to make it. I was very happy about that. I was very sad that Raven didn't make it. Raven hadn't quite stood out in a lot of ways thus far, other than being super playful. But Swallow had stood out a lot to all of us. And she was the wanderer. She was the troublemaker. She was the one who was always convincing the others to wander off and to manage to get into trouble and to explore the edges of the boundaries that she shouldn't. And unfortunately, Swallow did not make it. She made it to juvenilehood, but she didn't make it to adulthood. However, I know she is a deep fan favorite. I know we were really looking forward to potentially doing a wandering denless challenge with her. And we now can't do that in my official series. However, Swallow is going to be available for you guys to go ahead and adopt on the Wolf Quest adoption page, as well as all of the pups, even the ones who didn't, like I said, Raven and Swallow, they didn't make it, but they will be there for you to go ahead and pick from if you would like to play with her. She just did not make it in our official actual lineage of the Moon Pack, unfortunately. Her wandering away got her into a bit of trouble and she did not survive to adulthood. Bristle, who was extremely sick and I really thought would not make it when we actually left her, did make it. She did manage to survive her sickness and she managed to survive all the way up through her juvenile years and into adulthood. So if you're keeping count, that's Dove and Bristle so far. Little Mink, who was desperately trying to run away from that grizzly bear, she did not make it. She did not make it to juvenilehood. I think the grizzly bear did end up getting her, and she did not make it to adulthood, so we won't be able to pick from her. And the last pup, Atlas III, who was named after the bear butt biters because we ran into so many bears, and who might now be filled with a sense of vengeance against grizzly bears and want to maybe bite the butts of many of them. Atlas III made it. So he did survive to juvenilehood, he survived to adulthood, and he is one of the 3 pups, Dove, Bristle, and Atlas III, that we will have to pick from for the next generation of the Dawn Moon Pack. I am so sad. I really wanted to follow Swallow around. I really wanted to see where she would go. Unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. But let's go ahead and we are going to create our wolves. So we're going to get Dove. We're going to go ahead and we are going to get Bristle. Not in as Iron Wolves, but we're going to make them available in My Wolves. And we're going to get Atlas III. And let's go ahead and see what these 3 look like as adults. So, Dove! Oh, she's very pretty. Look, she kept the eyebrows and she got the ears. And interestingly enough, she actually has tracking. Oh no, and she wasn't supposed to be an Iron Wolf. Oh dear! Oh dear, that would be very bad. That gives you only 1 save file and no take backsies. So she could end up being the end of the Dawn Moon Pack. I didn't mean to pick Iron Wolf when I picked that. Darn it, I misattributed that. Like, off, I said. Ah, permanent death. Oh well, we are playing Iron Wolf style anyway. There's no take backsies with our wolves this time. We're just really living in the brutal wildness of it. But Dove is here, friends, and she's looking really good. So she does have a little bit more strength. She has a little bit more health. She does not have very good stamina, and she doesn't have very good speed. So we will need to go ahead and figure out what we're going to do about that if we choose her. I love her look. She looks a lot like some of the other gray wolves we have had, but I love the way her ears look. I love that she kept her eyebrows. And for Dove's challenge, the fact that she actually got plucked up by researchers and is wearing a collar is something that might play into what her lifetime quest will be. I haven't decided her lifetime quest yet because this all happened so suddenly, but with Dove, I feel like it might have something to do with living a little bit lighter. She doesn't have a lot of stamina. Maybe she'll really focus on taking down like more gentle prey. Maybe like her mother, she might run away from a den if that den ended up having like a stronger predator like a cougar or a bear come visit. We'll have to think about that. I really don't know what Dove's future might be. I wonder if she might actually take us back into the forest. So there's Dove. Didn't mean to make her an Iron Wolf. That was an accident. Look at all of our old wolves. Oh, and here's Bristle. Hey, Bristle. All right, so this is what Bristle would actually look like. She has always been a little bit of a fighter, Bristle has. She's not very strong. She has just a little bit more health than not, but she's always been a little bit more intense, and I could see her being a little bit more of a fighter. She's usually one to really like deeply establish herself. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure exactly what her lifetime quest would be, but I think it might have something to do with maybe wanting to prove her strength a little bit against some of the alphas in the area. So she might want to like hunt out and at least be able to size herself up against, say, one of the alphas from each of the 3 different packs that could be in the area. She just has kind of like the eyebrows and the stare that she's very, very serious after all. And then finally we have got Atlas III. What on earth? He's so pretty. Oh my gosh, have we ever had a wolf in a lineage like that? Like we have Meadow and then we have Dove. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we haven't really had a wolf that looks like Atlas III yet, and he is actually very pretty. He's like his sister, but slightly inverted on the colors. And I feel like Atlas III might have a heart that really kind of wants to show up to defend his family. I feel like Atlas III is one who, like his mother Cinder, had all of this tragedy about wolves happen. He too ended up losing like his father and many of his siblings, or not wolves, pardon me, had tragedies series of bears happen. And he's actually named Atlas III after the ancient bear butt biters from further back lineages of the moon pack. And I feel like Atlas's lifetime goal would be to chase away maybe one bear for every one of the members of his pack. So however many pups we have, if we had 6 pups, we might try to actually chase down and bite the butt of 6 bears. That would be a little bit dangerous. He might have something against bear cubs. I don't know if you can actually kill a bear cub. He might see that as being a very important job to do in order to protect the future of the forest. So I could see that being a role that he might take on. But there we go, you guys. Our survivors, Atlas III, Bristle. She definitely looks like she's glaring at the world. And Dove of the Eyebrows have all made it. Unfortunately, Lark himself did not. So I didn't mean to make Dove an Iron Wolf, whoops. Just for curiosity's sake, we'll go ahead and we will look at Raven. We will go ahead and we will look at Swallow. And we'll go ahead and we will look at Mink just to see what they actually would have turned out to be. Oh, Mink, you would have been so pretty! Mink would have been a true dawn moon heiress with that beautiful dawn coloring. Oh my gosh. Raven has a little patch on her stomach! Her chest, oh my gosh, and she would have been tracked by, she would have ended up being tracked by researchers as well. Oh, my heart. And Swallow has just some dark, dark, dark coloring. Look at her, you guys. Oh my goodness. She didn't turn out to be red. I thought Swallow was going to turn out to be red for sure. But alright guys, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. It has been a bit of a doozy. I am devastated for Lark, but I'm not upset at myself because that all happened just way too fast. And now we have at least one of the packs ready to pass on the torch to Generation 5 and meet us halfway through our journey. The halfway point has suddenly veered for tragedy, so it's going to be interesting to see where we're going to go from here. But if you guys could, do please leave a like in honor of Lark and the fact that he gave his life to do his best to protect his mate and his pups. And if you would like to join us on this and literally thousands more adventures, do please consider subscribing. But most importantly, my friends, stay curious. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!